What's going on, guys? We are going to talk about a very commonly performed movement, the hamstring curl, the lying hamstring curl, but more commonly butchered exercise. Now, this movement, in contrast to the seated hamstring curl, becomes problematic, which is why if you do have access to a seated hamstring curl, you're probably better off using that to train your hamstrings as opposed to the lying hamstring curl, because there are a number of technical considerations that we need to have when we're lying down prone on a bench like this. So now, we are trying to train the hamstring through knee flexion, which means that the distal part of the hamstring, being behind the knee, is going to do most of the work, and we want the hips to be as silent as possible, meaning we want little movement and involvement from the proximal portion of the hamstring. So what most people are going to do on the hamstring curl is they're going to arch their back, get into lordosis, which means that they're going to start to use some of this proximal end, and they're going to use the erectors through hyperextension, and basically what they're doing is they are reducing the amount of mechanical loading that is going through the target muscle group, which is the hamstring, through knee flexion. So it's really important to remember that we are trying to get knee flexion, no more, no less. So, to ensure that we are maximizing the distribution of the external load, being the plates, the pulley, onto the hamstring where it needs to be, we can modify how we set up our position to execute this lift. So Monique's going to put her hands on the bench. She's going to tuck her rib cage down a little bit, getting some reaching pattern through here, which is always a good idea. That brings her into a neutral spine, and she's going to drive her hips, squeezing her glutes into the bench, and just flex at the knee. Now what this does, she raises her pelvis a little bit more like that, perfect, down, and then again up. What this does is it takes out all of the extensor muscles in having that concentric action or dynamic contraction. It takes out any involvement from the proximal portion of the hamstring, and we are putting as much of that load now onto the distal part of the hamstring, which is through knee flexion, and that is the goal. That is how you build big hamstrings. Peace, love, bicep curls, and we'll speak to you next time.